Kamala Harris just laid out her economic plan for the first time. What do you make of it, and how do you anticipate voters might respond?
Well, Valerie, it's very impossible to tell how voters are going to respond, but I think it's a very important plan because what Kamala Harris is doing, building upon the very important work that was done by Joe Biden, is to attack the source, one of the most important sources of high prices, and that is monopoly power. A lot of big corporations in America have had record profits because they don't compete very hard. There are very, very few competitors, and therefore they don't have to reduce their prices. Who ends up holding the bag? Who ends up paying high prices? Well, obviously consumers.
Of course, her opponent, former President Donald Trump, has been focusing more on the economy, really going in on the Biden-Harris administration. Just yesterday, he said this in his press conference. Let's take a listen, and then we'll talk about it.
Now Kamala is reportedly proposing communist price controls. She wants price controls. And if they worked, I'd go along with it, too, but they don't work.
All right. What are your responses to the president's comments there, former President Trump?
Well, there is a huge difference between price controls, which she doesn't want. There's nobody in the administration, the Biden-Harris administration, that has ever talked about price controls. There's a big difference between that and actually making the market competitive. In fact, this is the opposite of price controls. When big corporations have the kind of power they have over prices, they control prices. When you have more competition, when you get rid of monopolies, you actually force companies to do what capitalism is supposed to force them to do, and that is compete.